Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Very good. It's always nice to come in here on a Monday and be done with all that, relaxing and stuff on the weekends.
Yeah.
All right. I actually do enjoy coming back because I got all this fun stuff to talk about. We actually have a guest later in the program today. Going to be visiting with Pamela Green. She's the author of a book, and we're going to be talking to her about your brand. Did you know that you have a brand? There's a Heidi Small brand.
Okay.
And it's what you stand for, and it's what people know you as. So there's like a John Small brand. Anyway, we're going to talk about things you can do with your brand. Also, did you know a recent survey found 68% of Americans prefer stores that have signs that say Merry Christmas rather than Happy Holidays? 68% of Americans would much rather see it say Merry Christmas.
Me too. I'm one
Holidays.
of those.
I am as well. Now, that doesn't mean that I think everybody needs to celebrate the same way. I'm saying everybody can celebrate how they want to celebrate, but as for me, that's how I celebrate, so that's what I like. I'm not trying to force it onto other people. I'm just saying that's what I prefer.
It's nice to know it's still the majority, too.
It is, 68%,
like that.
So get that going for us, which is nice.
Coming
up, we got some fun stuff going on today. We'll tell you what it is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, December the 7th, which means today is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, a date that will live in infamy. December the 7th. It is also International Civil Aviation Day. So I'm not sure what civil aviation means. Is that unlike uncivilized? Usually when I fly, it's pretty uncivil. I mean, there's a lot of pushing and shoving. So be civil when you're flying today, people. And it's National Cotton Candy Day.
I
today.
love cotton
candy. I know
candy.
you do. You do. I remember one time you said you wanted to get a cotton candy machine at her house.
That was until I used one and saw how messy they are. There's no way I would put a cotton candy machine in our house.
Cotton candy machine. Yeah, I don't think
They're so messy.
You can buy it for 99 cents in a bag. It's already done. Let's just do that, like that. And that's how I'm going to celebrate today, having some cotton candy while I remember. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Monday, the 7th day of December.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. 37-year-old Peng Shuan was shocked that his own doctors, and he shocked his own doctors. He shocked the medical community and his whole family and everyone after surviving having the entire lower half of his body amputated.
Whoa.
He was in a horrible accident where he was run over by a truck. Peng spent 2 years in a hospital in southern China, undergoing several different series of operations to reroute nearly every major organ or system in his body. And what amazingly happened, the guy had such great outlook, he opened his own discount supermarket chain called Half Man, Half Price Store. That is awesome. So he's just thrilled to be alive.
That is awesome.
He's 2 foot 7 inches tall now. He gets around in a power chair and he gives lectures to inspire others from recovering from anybody that's recovering from disabilities.
I don't know that I could be that upbeat. So good for him.
The hospital vice president, Lin Lu, said he had good care, but his secret was definitely his cheerfulness. Nothing ever gets him down. So he's saying, that's
awesome.
No matter what happened, the guy was literally cut in half. He lost the bottom half of his body. He's now 2 foot 7 inches tall. And the way he celebrated by moving forward with life is he opened a half-price store, calling it Half Man, Half Price Store.
I do love that.
That is such a cute, clever thing. And if I'm ever in China, I'm going to go stop by there. Celebrate that with the dude. That is just a pretty darn neat thing. Anyway, you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your Brain on Drugs. This is a father-daughter day. Newark, New Jersey, Kevin Winston recently attempted to teach his daughter a lesson about drinking by calling the police on her when the 16-year-old girl came home drunk and unruly. However, when police arrived, the obviously angry daughter told police she feared for her safety because her dad had a bunch of drugs and weapons in the house.
Oh, my gosh.
Unfortunately for Dad, she wasn't kidding. She led the police right to a crawl space in the ceiling where they found some semi-automatic weapons and 600 vials of cocaine. He was the one that was promptly arrested, not her. So he was thinking, I'm going to teach you.
If the semi-automatic weapons were registered, there's nothing I can do about that. But
I doubt
the
that
drugs,
they were, from the sounds of it. So this girl was drinking, and Dad thought, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm calling the police. Now, it's a bad idea for a 16-year-old to drink, but it's even a worse idea for a person who's got dumb things like that in their house to call the police. So there you go. That's your Brain on Drugs. Your moment of duh is coming up.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Every day we get to share all kinds of fun stories about people doing silly things. But this one here is kind of a sad story. A family in Newport Beach, California, suffered $2.3 million in damages to their home after they tried an old Scandinavian tradition of putting candles on their Christmas tree. Now they're enjoying the old Scandinavian tradition of sleeping with the livestock to keep warm. They burned their home down.
Oh, my goodness.
So don't ever, ever, ever put lit candles on your Christmas tree. You wouldn't think you'd need to tell people that, but apparently you do.
You wouldn't think so.
So they've got, instead of putting lights on the tree, they're like, you know what, let's put some candles. That would be beautiful. And then it burned their home down.
Come on, people, use your brains.
$2.3 million in damages to their home. So
Holy cow, it must have been a heck of a home.
Apparently it was. All right, coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A New Jersey father was caught shoplifting a 50-inch television at Walmart with his 5-year-old son helping him. Yeah, father like son. Come on, son, let's go steal a TV together. Good bonding time there while you're sitting in jail. Bud Light has created a device that alerts beer drinkers when their beer supply is running low. If you're too drunk to know that you're running out of beer,
you might want to slow down.
All right, a 53-year-old man has been charged with burglary and harassment after he was found asleep in an empty bedroom of somebody else's Missouri home. So that
happens quite a bit, too.
Yeah, he snuck in and just took a nap. Did you know that statistics can actually affect your mortality? Research now shows that statistics are not just reports on what's happening, they change what's happening. Behavioral economists have found that people tend to move closer to the behavior they perceive as normative, which is worse, whether it's worse or better than their current behavior. So they're saying if you hear a statistic that most people do this, and that's normal, you start doing that, whether that's better or worse than what you were doing. People start doing what they are told is normal. Do you do that?
I don't think I do,
I don't think I do either. I've never, ever claimed to be normal, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Although they live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, most Americans struggle to live on what they make. A report from Springleaf Financial has found that 40% of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Somewhat surprisingly, that group spans across education and salary amounts. So it doesn't matter if you're well educated or if you make a lot of money, they still live paycheck to paycheck. 25% of people with graduate degrees couldn't miss a single month of paychecks without having to borrow or sell assets.
Yeah.
The report also revealed that nearly a quarter of all Americans have less than $250 in their bank account by the time pay day rolls around. So there you go. If that's you, I guess the good news is, hey, at least you're normal. But according to the last story, if that's normal, isn't that going to mean we're all going to start aiming for that? So let's not aim for normal. Let's try to aim for above normal. All right, there was a controversy over a new version of the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas, where mentions of Santa Claus smoking a pipe has now been removed. The editor said she wanted to set a better example for children. So now St. Nicholas no longer smokes a pipe in that "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Does that matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me one bit.
Kids don't smoke a pipe, even if Santa does. There you go. Just tell them.
It's not like Santa is the picture of health, so it's not like a kid looking at Santa Claus smoking a pipe thinking, I'm going to look just like that someday.
Someday
I really don't think it mattered that Santa
for the bowl full of jelly. Could we remove the bowl full of jelly? I understand the pipe, but I'm saying, you got that going for you, too.
If they're going to start there, they're going to destroy the whole thing. Soon they're going to have to leave water, vitamin-infused water and carrots out for him instead of milk and cookies. And the picture of Santa is going to be all
slender,
buff and slender. And
the new Santa.
Yeah.
All right. Prison inmates in Romania are now promising to behave after finding a cross-shaped turnip. It was discovered by one of the prisoners working on the jail's farm. According to a local newspaper, the priest at the jail thinks the vegetable is proof that God exists. The inmates are reporting now that they believe in Jesus after finding the cross-shaped turnip. They believe that God is telling them to be good. So, get some good news there. They were in prison, so yeah, be good. Whether you find that or not.
Whatever it takes.
I don't know. Jack Slater held up a branch of the Chase Manhattan Bank, getting away with about $7,000. He must have thought the baseball cap he had on during the heist was enough. He returned to the same bank, tried to open a savings account with the money that he stole.
We read this one.
Did we? Well,
yeah.
He got caught. So
yeah,
did he get caught last time, too?
Yes, he did.
All right. At least we're consistent. And our strange law. In New Jersey, it is against the law to slurp your soup. Did I also read that?
No.
All right. Well, now you know. It is against the law in New Jersey to slurp.
Would you get a fine or would you go to
soup.
Jail?
I think they just shoot you. I'm not sure. I'm not going to find out. I will tell you this. That's your strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us on the telephone line right now, and we're going to be visiting with Pamela J. Green. She's the author of a book called Think Like a Brand. Pamela, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Very, very good. We're excited to chat with you. I know, it's interesting when you think about it, but every person really is a brand.
Absolutely.
When you go out and do things and people know who you are, people get to know who you are and they get to know what kind of person you are. So you're kind of like your very own brand. And there's, people in the news all the time that we see, like just recently, Charlie Sheen, for example, what he came out and talked about the fact that he has HIV. Can he salvage his image? Is there something that he can still do, do you think, to kind of make his brand worth what it used to be worth?
Oh, absolutely. I think provided that he takes control of his tab, and it's, I love this acronym. It's this conduct, attitude, and behavior. And each of us has one. We have to decide, how we're going to present our cab. Is it going to be polished and ready? Do people want to get in? Do they want to hang out with us? Or do they want to just pass up and wait for the next one? I think as long as he does that, and manages his conduct, attitude, behavior, and then uses his celebrity for the greater good, I think absolutely. But he has to come through as authentic and genuine in whatever he decides to do. So, yeah, I think so.
So who are some celebrities maybe that have gone through something where they kind of ruined their brand that then brought it back and kind of regained the notoriety that people know them for? Is there an example of somebody that did that?
Yeah, you know what? The first person that comes to mind is Angelina Jolie. I mean, think about it. At one point in her life, this woman was, walking around with a vial of her, blood of, her lover's blood on her chest, and then was one of the most hated women in America, if you remember, because she allegedly broke up Brad Pitt and
Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Brad and
yeah, thank you, Jennifer
Brad
Aniston.
And Jennifer, yeah.
And look at her. I mean, she was walking through landmines. She made a complete turnaround. So now she's one of the most popular, most beloved celebrities. So definitely Angelina Jolie. I think also Robert Downey Jr. Is another one. I also believe, and this is, it's still early, but I'm going to call, I think Justin Bieber is really starting to make a little bit of a turnaround as well. So he kind of ebbs and flows for us. But I think those celebrities are really good examples of individuals who have realize that they're in control of their brand, and they have to be responsible, not just for themselves, but for the folks who are watching, that they're accountable.
Now, they have a national platform, so people all over the place know them, but each and every one of us, believe it or not, no matter who you are, even you don't have to be in the media, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to be a singer, you can be anybody. You can be. I remember when I was a kid, I worked at a grocery store and I bagged groceries. I still had a brand. When people would come in, they got to know who I was. They got to know what kind of person I was. And the cool thing is, because of the way I treated people, I was offered my radio job. I was offered a job because of that. And people don't necessarily think about that. But no matter who you are, where you are, you have a brand. What are the kind of things that the average person should do to make sure that their brand is a brand people want?
You know what? A couple of things is, first, they've got to recognize that they have something to offer, and then they just have to constantly put forth a good image and just make sure that they recognize that their brand is the emotional promise of the experience people are going to have. So what experience do you want people to have? It's that customer service mindset with every single interaction, and recognizing that, this person may be the key to your next promotion, or to the love of your life, or, to the next great opportunity that you have. You never know where that great engagement is gonna lead you. And so we have to take control of it, recognize that we have something to offer, and always put our best foot forward in every situation. You want to leave people wanting more of you, and do that in a very powerful way.
So is there any specific thing that maybe a person listening, let's use the example of somebody that did something foolish, and it's a small town, everybody knows them, they did something dumb, whatever it was, they got thrown in jail, they did something reckless. Is there something they can do? Because, especially in a small town where everybody knows everybody, when you did something dumb, by the time you get home to tell your parents, they already know about it. So is there something that you can do to fix that, to improve your brand if you've already done something silly?
I think absolutely. I think it's almost, if you look at the blueprint that's been laid for us by a lot of celebrities, I think first you have to own up to it and recognize and acknowledge, what, I made a big mistake. But I don't want to be judged by my history like the other person, like, whoever you're talking to doesn't want to be judged by their history, especially if it's not a great one. So I want to start today putting my best foot forward. So first, it has to be an acknowledgement that, I messed up. I was kind of big-headed. Let me put that behind me. I think the next thing is to chart a path for what you want, and say, how do I want people to view me? How do I want to be viewed? And then put yourself in a position to be viewed in that way in every interaction. Look for ways to show people a new you, or show people a different side, and not be drawn into some of the same behaviors. And I think that also leads, John, to sometimes we have to put away some of our old friends, our old habits, and our old behaviors, and let some of those things go, because they draw out some of the negative things about our personalities, our behaviors. So you got to let those things and those people go.
So you're saying if I want to prove to people that I've changed, I actually have to change?
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing.
Unfortunately.
You make this so hard. No, it is absolutely true. If you want to change your life, the only person that can make that change is you. Nobody else can make you change. You have to make the decision that, hey, you know what? I don't want to rip people off anymore. I don't want to be a bad person anymore. Whatever it is, I want to make this change. And then you have to actually make the change. And the best way to let people know is by making the change and, showing that you really are a better person.
Exactly. And, I always tell folks, when you think about a lot of the weight loss shows and programs and all those things, often what you don't see, or what we hear about later, is that people have left them, or people don't want to. But then you see that they have new loves and those kinds of things. Sometimes people don't want you to change, and so they're invested in the old you. And every time you make a change, the world has to adjust to that change, and we have to get that in our minds that people change to you. You don't necessarily have to try to meet every person's need, as long as you're doing something with integrity.
Again, been visiting today with Pamela Green, and you've got a book called Think Like a Brand. How long has this book been out?
Just came out, hot off the press this past month. So I'm excited about it.
So the ink is not even dry yet.
Not even dry, not even dry.
Well, we're certainly excited that you let us be one of the folks that got a chance to chat with you about it. Now, where can I find this? Is it on all the big online booksellers?
It is. It's on Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com. You can get it, find how to get to it from my website, PamelaJGreen.com. So just type in Think Like a Brand in your browser, and you will find it.
Well, Pamela, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us, and I hope that somebody listening that maybe got themselves in a little bit of a pickle, they're going to find a way to get themselves out of that pickle now with your help. Thank you again.
Well, thank you so much, John.
And again, Pamela J. Green, and you can find her book, Think Like a Brand, at all the online bookstores, available, again, online at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. You can also learn more on her website, which is PamelaJGreen.com. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that?
Because food prices are rising, more and more people are turning to Spam. Hormel says Spam sales are through the roof. I have to admit, I have still never had Spam.
I
Your
have,
dad,
sadly.
Your dad loves Spam. Yeah. Charlie, every Tuesday we talk to him, so tomorrow I'll be chatting with him. Every Tuesday we visit with my father-in-law, and he is a huge fan of Spam, and he keeps telling me I need to eat some Spam. So
Ugh.
Maybe I'll go get some today.
He used to fry it and then make a sandwich.
So can I just open the can and eat it right out of the can, or do you have to cook it?
I think you can. No, it doesn't have to be cooked. I think it's
all right.
pre-cooked.
Well, I'm going to have to get some and check it out. Hey, another fun fact for you, Heidi. The cartoon character Bugs Bunny was given the rank of Honorary Master Sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps at the end of World War II. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So, in that case, Bugs Bunny is a veteran. I did not know that. Now you know. A little fun fact for you on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. I got some tips to avoid packing on some holiday pounds. Now, first of all, I want to make sure you know this. It's not coming from me. Nobody would take these tips from me. I can teach you how to pack on some pounds for the holidays, but they're saying it's really easy to do that, but it's also not too hard to avoid packing on the pounds if you follow some things like this. Get plenty of sleep. I'm going to tell you, this is from nutrition and health expert James Kryzak. Get plenty of sleep. Next, drink plenty of water. 3, limit your intake of proteins. Really? I thought that's what you're supposed to eat. That's what I'm doing wrong, apparently.
Yeah, that's the thing.
4, that's the one. 4, keep stress levels down by walking, exercising, and meditation. Stress can spark an appetite. Oh, I can tell you that is absolutely true.
That is absolutely true.
4, curb appetite by loading up on, quote, good carbs, high-fiber veggies like beans, whole grains, and oats, and brown rice and fruits. 6, avoid bad carbs like starchy potatoes, breads, and desserts.
Oh.
Fun hater. 7, vinegar reduces the body's absorption of bad carbs, so use a variety of vinegar with olive oil for salad dressing. 8, stay away from foods with hydrogenated oils and the sweetener aspartame. These substances do not aid in weight loss. Number 9 on the list, choose foods with good fats like soybeans, avocados, nuts and seeds, and fish like salmon, tuna, halibut, and then also leafy green veggies. And the number 10 thing on the list, these simple tips to avoid packing on the pounds. Did any of this sound simple yet? It's like you're trying to change everything I do, man. The last thing is keep in touch with a pal who has a similar diet and health goals to boost your willpower during the holidays. So you can reach out and say, hey, what'd you have today? And they can lie to you and you can lie back to them. Do you have any cookies? You're like, huh? No cookies today. Brush these crumbs off of me. You can't see me, right? This isn't a Skype call. Okay, good. No, I've been doing really good. Anyway, some tips right there from nutritionist and health expert Dr. James D. Kryzak. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
All right, this is kind of a fun story, Heidi. I think we actually talked about this. A Pennsylvania man recently convicted of manhandling baked goods has avoided jail time, but the whole thing is going to cost him quite a bit of dough. Samuel Feldman has an infatuation with squeezing loaves of bread and poking holes in cookie wrappers at supermarkets. He's been convicted, was back in September, of 2 criminal counts of criminal mischief after a video surveillance tape was presented as evidence. Judge David Heckler placed him on 6-month probation ordered him to pay $1,000 in restitution to the stores where he damaged the packages.
Wow.
Feldman acknowledged to having touched too many bundles, but said, "I didn't mean to hurt them." So he goes in and likes to, squeeze the Charmin. No, he likes to squeeze the
bread.
The buns. And
And
he got to the point where he's
weird.
squeezing one too hard that he poked holes in some cookies. So that's where they're like, okay, you're going to jail. He didn't go to jail. He avoided jail time. $1,000 fine, and got himself in a little bit of trouble. And he got some national attention out of the deal. So there you go. You got that going for you. Coming up, we've got some eyes in the news. We'll tell you all about that.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
A lot of folks go to the eye doctor to make sure that their eyes are okay and might discover that they need some help. But this person actually discovered with no doctor's help. An engineer saved his own sight when he ran a check on an optical scanner that he was installing. After testing the device on himself, Eric McKenzie discovered he had a torn retina. Mr. McKenzie said a routine check involved taking an image of his own eye to ensure all of the equipment settings were correct, so he was installing this stuff. Normally, my retinal image is healthy, he said. But on this occasion, I noticed an area of discoloration had appeared. I had no visual disturbances, but I was not aware of any injuries to my eye. He says, I have a great deal of experience looking at normal images and had a feeling this looks suspicious. Experts then took a glance at the image, and they realized that, hey, yeah, you got a tear in your eye.
Yikes.
If it would have gone untreated, he could have actually had his retina detach, and it could have led to blindness.
Yikes.
Yeah, so he underwent laser surgery. How crazy is that?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was installing the stuff, and he's like, I'm going to just scan my own eye just to see how, wait a minute, that doesn't look good.
I think there might have been a little bit of divine intervention on that one.
Absolutely awesome. Anyway, fun stuff right there. Coming up, we got a message in a bottle story. I love these. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Heidi, when you were a kid, did you ever take a bottle and put a message in it and throw it in the water and do that kind of thing?
No.
I did that when I was a kid. I never got a response of any kind. But a letter sent more than 2 decades ago has finally been answered. You can't blame the post office for the slow delivery. The message was in a bottle. 2 Connecticut girls tossed a bottle into the Nantucket Sound from a ferry boat 20 years ago. 20 years ago. A goat? I don't know what that meant. Fisherman Michael Wall found it on a beach in Ireland when he was walking his dog. They did this in Connecticut. Anyway, he responded to the note with letters of his own, and he put his own address in there as well. And it went to Amy Turno-Thurber and Valerie Wozniak. They've long since moved away from their childhood homes, but their parents still lived at the same address. How cool is that? Wozniak says that she was shocked when her mother called and read her the fisherman's letter. She said someday they really hope to meet the man who found their message in a bottle. But it was just really cool. After 20 years, the thing popped up on the other side of the world.
That's
they threw
cool.
it in the water in Connecticut. He found it in Ireland. So it is really neat. And there was a movie. Do you remember the movie Message in a Bottle?
I do.
Kevin Costner?
Yes.
I liked that movie. I won't tell you because if you've not seen it, you got to see it. But there was a neat movie. And it was about a person that had messages they were throwing in the bottle. But what are the odds that the same person would be getting the same messages?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was like, I don't think so.
It wouldn't go to the exact same person every time, but it was a cool movie. I love anything with Kevin Costner.
I know you do. You're Kevin
and
Costner.
It really doesn't matter what it is.
Even Waterworld, which is crazy.
Well, that one was very definitely a stretch.
And Postman, wasn't that another one that he was in that was that people didn't like? I actually didn't think that was too bad.
I really don't pay much attention to the storyline when Kevin Costner.
Kevin. And now you're new. What's the guy's name? Ryan Reynolds. You've been ogling him lately.
And I also really like.
Do we need to make a whole
Vince
list?
Vaughn.
Yeah, I know. Let's move on. Coming up, we've got some good news that's going to hopefully make us all smile. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Heidi, they say true love stands the test of time. This next story could be absolute proof of that. This is such a fun thing. We always try to end the program with something positive, and I found this story, and I was like, you know what? This has got to be one of our stories. It's about a guy named Alan and his sweetheart Margaret. They're Alan and Margaret Little, and they both just turned 100 years old.
Aww.
Time has certainly been on their side, making their bond that much sweeter. Both of the Littles celebrated their centennial birthdays this year. Margaret was born August 6th, 1915. And Alan was born November 12th, 1915.
Aww.
They also celebrated their 76th wedding anniversary on August the 5th. They were married in 1939. Now think about that. Most people listening weren't even born yet.
Right, exactly.
Most people listening, maybe their parents weren't even born yet in 1939. These guys have been not only born then, but they were married in 1939, and they're still living happily together, which is such a cool story. I think that's awesome. Now, I don't know if we're going to live to be 100 years old.
I sincerely doubt
because
that
our lifestyle, not exactly
our stress level.
healthiest.
I think just over the last, just since June,
Yeah,
I think
pretty
we've
much.
probably knocked about 10 years off of our lives.
Well, we're going to have a whole lot less stress here soon. But yeah, there's I can tell you, with our lifestyle, I doubt that we're going to make it to the ripe old age of 100. It would be awesome, but I can tell you this: however long I am alive, you're going to be by my side. I'm not going anywhere, baby.
I agree.
So, here's to the rest of our lives.
Cheers.
Happily ever after. Should we drink in this time of day? At work and all? We're not really drinking. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We certainly appreciate you doing it. Tune in again tomorrow. We've got Tuesdays with Charlie. We got all kinds of silly stuff to share, and we'll be here, and we hope you will too, on another edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And the bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more about them on their website, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, when you go there, you're going to see this new thing that just popped up like a week ago. It's called gift membership. It's a cool idea. So if you got somebody you're going, man, I don't know what to get him. Maybe you got a youngster that's gone to college, and you're thinking, what do I get them at college? What do you get a college student?
That's a good idea.
Here's something to get. And they'll get razors every single month, so that way they're going to look nice. They don't have to spend all that money on razors. They're expensive. But through this group, they're very affordable. For as little as $3 a month, you can have them delivered right to your door. If you want the really schwanky ones, sign up for the Executive Series. How much are those, Heidi?
$9 a month.
And that's the ones I get. I think they're awesome. I use them. Feel how smooth that is. Oh yeah. Check it out at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. All right. 4 men robbed a Chinese food delivery driver, striking him over the head with a package of prawn crackers. And they got away with a large order of Chinese takeout. Police were called. Upon arrival, they found the trail was still warm. In fact, it was hot. One of the bags sprung a leak, leaving a trail of curry sauce that led them directly to the culprit's flat.
We read this.
Did we really?
Yes.
They found them all before they even had a chance to eat their fortune cookies.
We read that.
No. I'm glad that you remember what we do, because I have no clue. How about this one? Brazil's Dutra Ladreia prison has become famous for their pizza.
Oh, we have not read this.
Little Tutu Pizzeria and Bakery, run by the prison convicts, includes former drug runners who was in charge of the pizzeria. Thenny's Chang's Pereira is that guy's name. They sell pizzas to prisoners and guards, and they even deliver to local neighborhoods.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you can literally have your pizza delivered in Brazil by someone in prison.
Oh, I don't know that I would want that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know somebody that's in prison that's really good pizza cooker, so it's an interesting idea there. I never really thought of that before. Little Tutu Pizzeria.
I don't think I would want a prisoner delivering me pizza.
I don't think I'd want to eat a pizza that was made by a prisoner.
Well, that's not
if they're
the case.
upset and mad in there, they're like, oh.
Well, they can only get the... No,
No.
I don't. I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, moving on. From Belgium comes the story of an unidentified man who stole a sewing machine from a repair shop. A couple days later, the robber returned to the shop, sewing machine in his arms, and asked for the manual and the needle. The staff recognized the machine and kept the man talking until the police got there. So that was in Belgium. So that's just to prove that there are morons in Belgium, too.
Wow.
Just so you know. And one last story, unless, of course, I've already read this, and I don't think I have. I'm going to scroll up here. A man is suing Delta Airlines for $1 million, claiming the company is incompetent and their rude employees made his 80-year-old mother's birthday trip to South America stressful and a costly horror. He says not only did he and his family arrive in Buenos Aires, Argentina, 3 days late, they had to spend unplanned thousands of dollars on food and hotel and transportation. They had to buy tickets from a different airline. He claims that Delta even lost his luggage, so they had to all buy new clothing as well. So he's suing. Now, I understand that the lawsuit makes sense, but $1 million?
Yeah, that seems a bit much.
Damn, what kind of clothes did you buy, my friend? I think frivolous lawsuits, I really don't like those. Have a good purpose if you're going to sue somebody.
Right.
You know, don't sue for $1 million for lost clothing? Really?
Right.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, and one last story, because I saw one more on here. An alleged embezzler in Detroit came up with a novel plan for avoiding charges, but he was foiled in the end. Police say the man parked in a General Motors lot, locked himself in the trunk. A passing GM worker heard the man's cries for help, and the cops were called to get him out. The man explained that he had been robbed of $6,000 at his convenience store job, and he was locked in his own car by the thieves. He claimed to have been in the trunk for 5 days. The actual time was more like 6 minutes. Cops determined the man had spent the time and the money on a gambling spree, and then when he realized he was going to get caught, he thought, I better think up something quick. So he said he was in there. He probably should have parked it somewhere else instead of, right in a General Motors parking lot. So, anyway, no, not that I'm trying to help give people ideas on how to get away with dumb things, because don't do that. That's going to do it for your bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can shave time and you can shave money. All you got to do is go to their website, dollarshaveclub.com/radio.